Hi, my name is Fiona Ontiveros, and today I'll be introducing Group Force Project. After mulling over several local and global companies, we finally decided on Google. We chose Google not just for the explosive growth over the past 2 decades, but for the expanded, continued, and ongoing funding for grassroots organizations, small businesses, particularly during the pandemic. Not only does Google show the lengths that entrepreneurs can go to, but shows how entrepreneurship can be displayed on several levels, from local, national, to international. This will continue to expand the company within the coming years as future opportunities, assets, and value gets added to the company. Next, we'll be talking about future opportunities in the context of a social entrepreneurship, as touched on by Kaylin.
The original founder and CEO of Google is a man named Lawrence Page. He started up the company with 2 others, Scott Hansen and Sergey Brin. However, Scott Hansen left the company to start up his own business. The original trio of students started up the Google Corporation in their university dorm of Stanford University. However, they were forced to leave the dorm as their company was growing. They thus moved into the garage of Susan Wozniak, today's CEO of YouTube. As their company continued to grow, they were forced none other to move once again. They moved into 165 University Avenue, Palo Alto, home of many other Silicon Valley startups. As their company continued to grow, they needed a $1 million startup, which they received in 1998. They received large amounts of money from the founder of Sun Andy Beltenheim, which was $100,000 US cash. They also received $250,000 from Jeff Bezos of his personal funds. After outgrowing their offices in 165, they were forced to move once again. However, they moved into what we now call Googleplex. This is at the Mountain View at 1600 Infant Theater Parkway in California. Despite having many great products, Google has also failed a couple times. For example, the Google Glasses that launched in 2004, or the Nexus Q by Google, which was a streaming platform, which also did not do well. However, even with quite a few failures, Google did not give up and continued to see many of the famous products we know today, like Google Chrome, Google Maps, and Android operating systems, thus making it clear that Google is exponentially growing and has no means of stopping, which it means it's bound that rivals are going to enter the market. Today, Microsoft remains the biggest rival against Google. However, interesting enough, Sergey and Lawrence tried to sell Google to another website platform called X8 for $1 million US in 1999. However, X8 turned down this offer. Again, the two went back to X8 and tried to sell, this time for $750,000. Once again, they were turned down. Not long after, in 2000, Google began selling text-based advertisements when searching for keywords. These were bought and sold bids for originally 5 cents a click-through or click. In August 2004, Google went public with its IPO and raised $1.67 billion and became the first and only company of its time to use only computers and not Wall Street brokers. Initially, the stock of Google in 2004, August 19th, was $85 a share. However, 12 short years later, the stock of Google is approximately $1,800 US. I think X8 most likely should have taken their offer. Looking at the international sphere of Google's entrepreneurship, we may also look at the social sphere of Google's entrepreneurship. This can be seen by Google's attempt to mitigate any social injustices or issues present within their realm of control. This can be seen with the Black Lives Matter movement that occurred in America and quickly spread to the rest of the world. Google pledged approximately $12 million to their cause. Similarly, Google has also aided many different countries on their communicative abilities to help with communications between governing bodies and their agencies. This can also be seen with remote workers all around the world. The Google platforms that these remote workers use have been made more accessible and effective as of January 2020. This is because Google saw a surge of 25 times the original usage. Google can also be seen helping social entrepreneurs. This is seen most clearly in Maura Klein's article, which suggests that Google has plans to set up a program called the Moonshot Factory, which is designed to support social entrepreneurs and help them pursue their goals of improving communities at an international level. Thus, in conclusion, Google not only is donating to social causes all around the world, but is attempting to aid and support any developing communities within their social realm. When talking about Google's international entrepreneurship, we may look to a statistic from Statista.com, which illuminates that in 2019, Google had 252 million unique US visitors on their website alone that month. This suggests that Google is rapidly growing and has no means of stopping. Also, Google has 70 different offices in 50 different countries. This is what allows Google to employ the 114,000 different employees they have. In addition, Google is also taking strides in promoting female entrepreneurship. As of 2019, 26.1% of their entire leadership staff is all female. In conclusion, not only does Google help economies grow and promote job creation, but Google is also making strides of helping these said countries communicate with the global market.
I'll elaborate on Google's environmental and social causes locally and internationally. I'll be exploring innovation in AI in relation to environmental and sustainability issues, expansion and investment they're doing in developing countries abroad, and the help they're providing for small businesses during the pandemic, and how that will continue to expand despite the challenges ahead. Google's technologies have always been at the forefront for innovation and commercial success in the Silicon Valley tech industry, and now more than ever. Blurring the lines between social purpose and business ventures is the AI Challenge, one of many startup programs that fund and provide knowledge and resources for innovation in the environmental and social sectors. Aiding local organizations in Indonesia, for example, using image classification and AI to scan crops for pests and alert local pest control. They are also using initiatives and pouring resources into converting their carbon's global operation from carbon neutral into complete elimination of carbon from their products and their offices all around the world. Social entrepreneurship is vital to Google's goals, as it will need local help and support and to be held accountable to create innovative ways to minimize their impact on a global scale. Particularly during 2020, with the COVID-19 virus, small businesses have been largely affected by the lockdowns and restrictions. And by providing funding for not only female and minority-based businesses, Google has also moved towards investing in smaller communities around the world. An example of such is the partnership with Kiba in Indonesia, extending small, low-interest loans to those hit hardest by the COVID-19 pandemic and supporting small businesses all over Indonesia. By accelerating economic growth and empowering people by building a solid credit history and reducing poverty, Google will introduce a network of customers and allows them to establish in more countries, expanding their 4 billion user base. As Google continues to grow their successful business model, they will continue filling in the gaps left by the pandemic with their service and their products, and continue moving towards the futures of becoming pioneers of social entrepreneurship worldwide.
In financial terms, Google's early conception was founded as a partnership venture, which offered a new search algorithm called PageRank. This is all thanks to an angel investor, which provided the initial investment in order to produce this venture. However, from 1998 to 2000, the venture saw negative returns. This was until the creation of AdWord, which provided the company its first revenue stream, turning 2000's $14 million loss to over $90 million in revenue within 2 years. Throughout Google's life, it has invested heavily into innovation and continues to internally stimulate growth, all in order to galvanize its position within the marketplace. In 2004, the company went public with an initial IPO of $85 per share and over 22 million shares sold. Today, the company has expanded into several diverse streams of income with innovations such as AI and Google Cloud services. Google has been able to penetrate into streams such as genome modeling, hybrid rendering, and telematics within the automotive industry. Further, the business has managed to position itself as a necessary partner and asset to many companies, providing data analytics and data capture services. Some stakeholder industries reliant on infrastructure provided by Google include retailers, healthcare, financial services, and manufacturing logistics. In 2020, there has been a 300% increase in Google Cloud partner deals, 280 new products and security industry solutions. For the Google Cloud presents a 53% revenue increase from 2019. and deals that exceed 50 million have increased over 100%. These new streams continually provide Google with the required short-term and long-term capital. With respect to retained earnings, Google has continued growth year after year. From 2014 to 2018, $75 billion USD has grown over to $134 billion, representing an 18% increase in 2015. To conclude this portion, Google is an exceptional example of how long-term investment and continued innovation from those investments can pay off. That the growth of a financially successful business is not only derived from a great idea, but also the necessary capital to finance it. Thank you. Google has expanded its business. As a global entity, it encroaches in many regions, industries, and continues to transcend what it means to be a business. To take the words of Pichai, as a leader, it is important not to just see your own success, but focus on the success of others. And Google proves this by being the catalyst for entrepreneurship in many forms. I hope this presentation has proven to you why Google is the entrepreneurial venture it is today. Thank you.